Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More, and this is my liquor store about a month ago, and those are people breaking in and stealing stuff. So, these are my cameras from the store, and you might notice the date says February 23rd, because that is when this actually happened, but I held off from posting anything, which was very hard for me to do, because the police didn't want me to say anything or show anything until they caught them, because they didn't want to tip them off, they didn't want them to leave, they didn't want them to go into hiding. And so yesterday the police called me and said they had caught the main guy who did this. So that was really good news. We had to fix the door, do some work here, and there's quite a bit going on here that I wasn't able to talk about for a while, but now we can. And so here's what the liquor store looks like now after we've remodeled it. I was on vacation last week, so we didn't have a ton of updates on the store while I was gone, but there was progress made. I know it seems like slow progress, but there's just so much stuff here. A lot of the work is just moving things. So, when we're remodeling a flip or a house or even a commercial property that's vacant, you go in, you paint stuff, you do flooring, you do the work, and you're good to go. When you have an operating business, well, that used to be operating till we got shut down, we'll talk about that too. There's so much stuff you have to move, especially in a liquor store with breakable things you have to be careful on. So much time was spent just moving things, and we're making progress. Now, you may have noticed we have metal gates on the doors now, and those were put up because of, obviously, the break-ins. Now, I did know that this was an issue before buying it too. Now, we've joked about me not having any sales data before I bought it. The seller would not give that to me. It's a running joke on my TikTok and Facebook and social media where every single video I talk about that if people are wondering why they see those. But they did tell me that the place had been broken into twice by the same person. Now, I thought they had told me that person had been caught, but apparently not, because the first weekend I owned this store, they broke in, and I got a knock on my door at my house at 3 a.m. from the police, and we'll talk about all of that here. But in the store, you can see we added shelves, almost all the paint's done. We thought about redoing all of the flooring. We have decided not to. We're just going to patch up flooring where we had an issue before, where we took out the old counter. We still need to put in our counter to extend it. There's still a lot of work to do, but it's getting closer and closer. And one thing I want to do is move all of these shelves to the outside walls. That takes some work too, because as you can see, a lot of the shelves are kind of meant to be double-sided. This is kind of gondola shelving, so you can rearrange it, you can change it, but I don't have enough middle pieces to move all the shelving to the outside and put new shelves, or the shelves we have on it now. So I need to find some of that or buy some of that, and it's just on my list of things to do, which is a very long list right now with this and the other properties we bought and different things we have going on. We also, of course, want to rearrange where stuff is, where the ice machines are, coolers, all that stuff. It just doesn't seem to be in a very good place. Now, these coolers were kind of wrapped. The outside of the coolers were wrapped with like advertisements from about 15 to 20 years ago. The vendors helped do that for the store. There's also tons of signs everywhere the vendors helped with. We put beadboard on there, if you can see that. And so we don't want to wrap it, but we can put signs up, different things, let people know where different types of beer are. And the coolers are on. Don't worry, just the lights are off, but the cooler is on. And so that should be good too. Now, as far as the vendors go, they aren't really helping me right now because we don't have our liquor license. So we were shut down by the police a few weeks ago because of having 2 liquor licenses in my name. You can't do that, even though the state liquor handbook says you can. That was another video I did in story we talked about there. But we have a solution, so hopefully we can get something next week. And then once we have the temporary liquor license, we can sign up with our vendors, get the account switched, and then they'll come in and help us with design, and they could even help with shelving. They could help with all kinds of different stuff, but they can't help right now until we have our liquor license. So we're kind of doing it on our own and working through that. That's a big sign right there on the ground that goes in the front of the building that they haven't had up for years. So We're going to attempt to reuse that and paint our new name on it. We'll see how that goes. That could be in progress right now. We also are thinking about putting that bike on maybe a wall instead of hanging it in the middle of the store. We'll see how that goes too. We've been working on getting more beer, different things, although we can't sell it. If you're wondering about the colors, that is local University of Northern Colorado colors, the local college. This is probably the closest store to the college, and used to be a huge college store, but now, recently, it has not been. So, and while we can't sell alcohol right now, we can't sell anything, I am donating a little bit to the local food bank, not for them to disperse, but because they're having a party, an event they do every year, and they ask for our help. So we are a corporate sponsor for them every year, and usually we go to that event, but just have too much going on this year to do that. So we are still trying to help out in different ways. Now, here is what the aftermath happened with the door. And what's crazy is, like I said, the police called me at 3 a.m., or they had been calling me nonstop. I had my phone in silent at night. They came and knocked on my door. And they had knocked on Justin's door, who works in my office, because he actually lives in my old house that he bought from me 12 years ago. And the police had that as my address for some reason still. So, I'm like, great. And so the cool thing is the alarm notified the police, and the alarm was still going to the old owner. The old owner sent guys over to board up the door. So it was kind of in a weird limbo, where the old liquor license is still in effect, but there's new people kind of helping. So technically he's still kind of a part of it at this point, but he really didn't have to do that. So it was really cool of him to send out people to help. And we have lots and lots of cameras that we sent to the police. They came in, took a bunch of footage, so that was good. But you can see them walking up to the store here. And basically the story is, this is the same guy who had broken in twice before. They knew who it was. They were looking for him. He came and broke in again. He brought a friend with him this time, and they said before, sometimes he's been alone. I think one other time he had a friend. And he's underage, so not able to buy liquor legally, and I don't know. But broke in, took a few of his favorite bottles. The friend took some Buzz Balls and tequila. They took maybe $200 worth of stuff total, and that was it. Now, you could see how quickly they got in. That's exactly what he's done before. He breaks the glass on the door. It's tempered glass. They know it won't shatter and hurt them. They can crawl through it, get in, get out really fast, and be on their way. Now, you can even see cars kind of slowing down because I think they saw what was going on. Maybe they called the police, maybe not, who knows. But that was how fast it happened. That was not cut. That was real time. They were in and out just like that. Now, not sure. I'll just say this. The police have a whole lot of evidence against him, multiple felonies. They said he had pictures on his social media with the bottles he stole. They found bottles from the other break-ins in the alley with fingerprints all over them. So, not exactly planning the best for getting away with this. Now, we put the metal gates on. Hopefully that helps deter people from doing this again. We have lots of other windows. We covered up some of those windows, as you saw in the video. The previous owner also told me someone tried to break in through those windows, and those are double pane, very strong windows. So they couldn't get in. They broke one, couldn't get through all of it, came back, broke the second one. But when they did that, they left a trail of blood and said they went to the ER, and the police found them there almost bleeding to death from getting cut so badly going through those big windows. And so they were obviously arrested at that point. So, obviously, some liquor stores in the area have all their windows boarded for this. Some don't. It was about $600 to replace the glass in that door. And it just looked... We've been going back and forth. Do we bar all the windows? Did I say boarded? I didn't mean boarded before. They'll put bars in the windows, some liquor stores. But that just makes it look not very good, in my opinion. And it can be very expensive to bar all the windows as well. So do you do that? Do you just take your chances? It's hard to say what the best plan is. But This guy's in jail. That's good. So hopefully this doesn't happen again. Hopefully he learned his lesson. You can see they took some tequila, some whiskey, some buzz balls. Those are probably $50 to $60 bottles. They stole retail value, maybe $30, $35. My cost on those. And could have been much worse, honestly. They could have trashed the place. They could have stolen much more. So at least they didn't, do more damage than they had to, which sometimes happens in a break-in, but still pretty annoying to have to wake up and go over there. The police said they wanted me over there to meet the officers there and to help board it up. And I was like, I don't have materials. I don't have the stuff to board up a door. Like, I didn't know this was going to be needed. But I started over there, and then they'd let me know the other owner was helping out. So that was good. And now, just in case, we do have supplies over there in the store in case it happens again, it gets broken into. We have stuff there already pre-cut and ready to go to board up doors and windows if we need to. So, always interesting in the real estate world. As many of you remember, my office was broken into a couple of years ago. Stole some quarters, my camera, did some damage. They also broke into a number of other businesses. Were part of a car stealing ring too. That person went to jail. They're in prison right now. But I just saw their trial was like November of 2024. They're eligible for parole in 2025. And they had like 30 different felonies against them apparently. So anyway, and then the door got fixed. The glass company who fixed it broke the glass when they're installing it. So I had my cameras to make sure they didn't try and say we did or anything, but they came back, they fixed it, so kudos to them. And then in the other window was already broken, and so that's just cracked. We are leaving it for now, but eventually we should probably fix that too. But there you can see the metal gates we put up, and can lock those at night. It does make it a little tricky getting in and out with the alarm. We're trying to figure out how to extend that time a little bit so it doesn't go off while people are trying to set it and get out and lock everything. But we're making progress slowly. They caught that person, so that's great. Who knows when trial will be or how that will work or if they settle, I don't know. On the other break-in into my office, they never contacted me after I sent them videos. I spent them a ton of time on it. They kind of asked how much damage there was. And they did let me know the person was arrested and they caught them. But after that, no contact from any prosecutor, police, anything. No contact at all. I just knew he was in jail awaiting trial for a long time. And then I don't know how that works. If I'm supposed to contact the DA or prosecutor for restitution or my input, but nothing. I don't know if they just settled or something. But it was odd too because we're in Weld County. I thought all of the crimes were pretty much committed in Weld County. But then it looks like Larimer County, which is a county just to the west of us where Fort Collins and Loveland is, was where he went to court. So I don't know how all that works. Maybe someone with more understanding of our justice system could help out with that. But I know that's been an issue in Colorado with crime. I don't know if we still do, but for a few years we led the nation in stolen cars and property crimes. And a lot of speculation is because the laws are so weak and penalties so weak that people don't fear getting caught. They just keep doing it over and over again and know it's worthwhile if they have to either just get away with it and not get prosecuted or the penalties are so weak it's worth it to them. So that's the story. That's where we're at. We'll have more updates on this as more work has been done. Even since I shot this video, floor repairs are going on. Some movement of stuff is going on. And yeah, eventually we'll get there. All right. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. And we'll be back with much more soon.